Hello again. Here we are. Alright. It's 10:15. I woke up a few minutes ago. I've just brushed my teeth. I mean, the place is a mess. My sister's mat's still out. The bed hasn't been made. Books on the floor everywhere. Keys on the floor. It's just one massive mess. Massive mess. I think this is enough of. Yeah, I'll do it. This is enough of an example. That will do. That will do. But we're here to talk about how the half day went. I mean, I planned to come off at 5. I originally planned to come off at 4. Then I said, no, 4 might be a bit too early, so I'll come off at 5. When in reality, I came off at 4:06. I knew the time was coming up when I was watching basketball videos again. It was 4:59. I was just looking. Thinking of making a video about my thoughts of going on it at the time, but I decided no, I'll do that now. I noticed that when I was mindlessly watching YouTube again, I'm consuming so much information that has nothing to do with me or improve my life, really. I noticed that when I came out of it was genuinely like I was waking up. Like I was awake when I was watching YouTube so much. I was awake alright, but not up there. I was more like in a trance, if you could call it that. Like a vegetable mentally. Just minimal power, not having to use the brain much. What did I actually do during this half day off though? When it was time to come off, I turned the phone off. I've had to turn it back on now, but I didn't take it out of the room, or nor did I take the laptop out of the room as I planned to with these half days off. But I haven't yet gone onto YouTube, so that's a start. I didn't immediately scroll onto YouTube. I turned the phone on and then I went to camera mode. So that's helped. You know how when you turn the phone on, when you turn the iPhone on, there's on the bottom left, there's your flashlight and then there's your camera. I tapped on the camera. So I've gone on that and then I've made the video. No temptations to go on YouTube at all. So I was on the mat, which is still laid out, which I didn't pack. I didn't pack it when I was finished with it. got folded clothes on the desk and on the floor. Mate, this place is a mess. It's a mess. But anyway, I was laying down. It was like, eventually, it was like I was waking up mentally. But at the time, I eventually thought it was too much for me. So at 9 o'clock, I went back and I went and watched some Kai Green. He has a 3-part series that you could call production team filmed, which I think the cameraman uploaded. Because it certainly wasn't Kai. It's not on Kai's channel. I say sadly wasn't because it's under a different name, but that's not necessarily true though. He certainly was a part of it. But anyway, yeah, when I went back on, I watched his 3-part series. I could have done that completely. I don't remember. But yeah, that's what I did. I've been for the past week, Monday to Friday, I've been on YouTube. The phone has been on YouTube for anywhere from 8 to 10 hours a day. Usually around 8.5. I don't like those stats, but this is the reality of things, and it's obvious that if I spend less time on YouTube and use that time that I would have been watching YouTube on reading through the piece. No, it's fine. It is fine. Reading through the course material, which I have. Then things are gonna skyrocket for me. Two messages that I remember in the series, which is the best way to predict the future is to create it. And the message about fundamentals, just like he said, he being Kai, stringing the days together over and over, stringing the days of efficient action by getting the fundamentals down, knowing that you can follow through with what you say you want to do, and you do that every day. The more days you do it in a row, the closer you will be to becoming extraordinary, basically. almost didn't finish that sentence off. This may sound very boring and not engaging, but I'll tell you what, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Sometimes they're just going to be like this. When I started and I came off before 9 o'clock at around maybe like 5:45, it was tough to come off. I think I've been using it, like looking at Luke Spurgeon's channel in particular, and looking at his total views and scrolling through his video titles a bit, not for any ideas, but just out of habit. Because I've been escaping reality. I have my own things to achieve. And yesterday, I did work on them more than I did the day before, I think. Not only did I make the personal, becoming a PT update, part 4 yesterday, but I also got some of the PT material and I scrolled through it page by page. It's gonna come out, so you'll see what I'm talking about. There's something just that I think is unfortunate, but I know I was being careful in that. I was being very careful, but it happened. I'll probably reveal it in the description when the part 4 comes out. On the 11th, no, the 12th of June, which is tomorrow. I'll reveal it tomorrow. So it was difficult to come off when I started, and then I experienced the sense of waking up mentally, and then I wrote down some thoughts. I didn't even write the date down like how I would usually, because I just wanted to get the thoughts down. And I came to a conclusion that I was doing what I was doing to escape reality. I mean, the exams for the PT course are already in a few months. Basically, only a group of weeks after my driving test. A handful of weeks, you could call it, after my driving test. Speaking of, we got the driving test too, and it's easier to just watch YouTube than to handle what I need to handle short term. Long term, I understand that it will leave me bitter, because when I'm looking at my legacy and what I wanted to create, I would have failed to achieve that because of my inability to act on what I wanted. I would have just allowed myself to stay in a permanent cycle of wanting. Nope. But I can understand why, being in a trance state like that, I asked myself, when I went back on it, how did I feel when I was watching those Kai Green videos. How did I feel whilst in that trance state, I called it? I felt calm compared to feeling stressed and overwhelmed that the PT exams are coming in a few months and the driving test is coming in a couple of months or so. It takes away from the stress I'd experienced thinking about it. Thinking about all of it as a bigger picture rather than how I would with cards and breaking it down so it's easier to remember and easier to go through. I'd never, in school, I don't remember ever breaking content down into groups that actually work long term. I remember revising certain topics, especially for additional maths. I got a D in additional maths. I don't think I was in a necessary frame of mind to get anything higher. Just like with my A-level grades, I got all C's in biology, chemistry and maths. I don't think I was in the right frame of mind to be able to get anything higher, although I could have. During what was supposed to be exam times, we just got predicted grades as exams. I genuinely think that if I didn't, I seriously could have flunked. I really could have flunked my A-level exams because I wasn't in the right frame of mind to get anything higher. I don't think I was in the right frame of mind at home. I was constantly trying to escape a toxic environment at home. It wasn't like I couldn't learn the material. I had the ability to, and I certainly did somewhat, but I just did not know how to process emotional and rational thoughts towards things that I had gone through, things that you could consider traumatizing. So all the way back to being bullied in primary school. For some reason, that actually made me think of my chess membership that I paid for through an online site. I genuinely think they've ripped me off. The receipt says the price I got charged, but that receipt and that transaction aren't the same as what they say it is on the website. So I'm just going to make sure that's the case before I go emailing and calling someone. There's no way I'm just going to allow that to happen. I can't let it slide. I'll at least look and then email someone. There could be a part of why I use YouTube to that could be part of why I use YouTube to basically numb the mind, so the mind doesn't feel stressed and the body feels calm, instead of pushing through it and getting an understanding of what's happening, pushing through the short-term stress that I may feel and getting something out of it, finding true peace. I don't think I found peace through watching YouTube. it's like anesthetics. I don't think I said that word right. Like numbing cream. It's more something that numbs the mind and provides peace. Behind the screen, look absolutely emotionless when I'm watching the YouTube videos, except the rare occasion when I'm laughing. That's just a part of the cycle. You laugh sometimes, rarely. You may feel sad sometimes over something that has nothing to do with you. But that's genuinely could be part of why we keep going on that mindlessly. I'm not against going on the app, but I am against using it as a way to escape reality and numb the mind. I am against using it in that way. But yeah, it seemed like it was way too much to handle yesterday, so I went back on. Way too much to handle. But the more I practice it, the more my mind will be used to it, because I've done it in the past and I've gone through the half day fine. I maybe started late. I certainly started late at times. At least once. But I went through the rest of the night without it. I allowed myself to create a lot. I don't know why, but I feel a sense of relief. Like a burden's being released. It seems like I feel these sorts of things physically. That may not necessarily be true. That may just be how I'm sitting. Yeah, it genuinely could have just been how I was sitting. But I do feel I was going to say happy. Not really. I wouldn't say I feel at peace either. I don't believe I'm in a state of mental chaos though. I feel awake. Physically and mentally. That's how I feel right now. I feel awake. In the necessary frame of mind to go about the day how I truthfully want to. Even though the place is a mess, I know I can change that. I may have overslept. Even if I did, so be it. We can work on it. That everything that I need to improve to be able to be the best that's out there and the best that I can be, it will all not only come to light, but I will be doing it. Everything I could be to be the best that's out and to be the best I could be. I think one last thing before ending the video. I think this unhealthy habit is tied with other unhealthy habits like eating mum's food. She's not going to cook healthy. Yeah, there was small broccoli and cauliflower florets in the noodles, but that food is not healthy. Leaves me with a big belly and putting on weight. Just like how that food always has done. Wakey, wakey, rise and shine, come on. Yeah, just like how the food always has done. I know that I must be cooking my own meals. My parents don't know everything. They may try and make themselves sound like they know a lot. Oh, if you combine our ages, it will be this amount in total. Age doesn't correlate with maturity or intelligence. The 17-year-old could know more about what actually matters in life than a 50-year-old, for example. But that is how my dad has proven that he thinks by him saying it and him allowing those words to come out of his mouth. I can't rely on them in any way to be able to live my life to the fullest, to be able to depend on them to live under their roof. Yeah, I can, it seems, as I have done for a long while now. But to be able to live and to get off on my own 2 feet, they can't help me with that. They can't help me with that. They won't. They'll just try and give unsolicited advice. But you know what? I'm just going to, regardless of whether I think it's okay, I'm just going to do right by myself. Improve my physical and mental health. Take more action every day. And just work towards, instead of spending 8 to 10 hours on YouTube every day, spend 8 to 10 hours reading through the course material that I've been given in numerous ways, in numerous forms. Then there you go. Immediately, much better life in all aspects, because I'd be taking action towards being in a life position I truthfully want to be in. When I do that, I'd improve how much I know. No, I'd build on what I already know about the body, for example, through the personal training. And I would know more about motivation, as that's also in the material, through having to motivate clients. Even the people who I may think are piss takers, I'm going to have to motivate them as well, it seems. Oh, look at that. Razor bumps are becoming so dry now. They've scabbed off and started to fall off now. Come on. Anyway. Yeah. I feel a lot more mentally awake when I'm off YouTube rather than on it, but I can understand why I go on it. To escape reality, to escape feeling stressed, such as making myself think that it's a stressful thing to ask around about why I've been charged X amount for the chess membership when on the internet they're saying it's this amount, which is, in my opinion, significantly cheaper than what they charge me. And then if I need to, I'll call someone. I'll call the contact number and get things sorted. But I just don't want the stress. I know what it's like to feel stress. When I did something that I didn't want to do, even though I was being very careful with the thing, something happened which I didn't want to happen, which is extremely minor. And I hit myself. On the knee, like this. Not extremely hard, but I still did it. And that is self-harm, as far as I'm concerned. Because I'm hitting myself, I'm hurting myself. Regardless of how slight, it sets the precedence to do that when I do something I don't want to do. Regardless of how careful I was to not do that thing. It doesn't matter, that's still self-harm. I haven't done that in a very long while. But I noticed that I was doing it and I nipped it in the bud immediately. Because I know that's a very mentally unhealthy thing to do. And also, if I were to do it harder, physically unhealthy thing to do. It's physically unhealthy that I was doing it anyway, but I mean, like, very physically harmful. It really could be to do with stress, avoiding stress. And then, because of that, I won't push through it and then find peace. Pushing through any sort of stress I would have felt, instead of hurting myself or scratching my head. I'd scratch my head a lot more than hurt myself nowadays. If I were to do it, if I were to do something physical like that, it would be me scratching my head. Not purposefully trying to scratch it really hard, but it would just be something I'd do. Something that I've certainly noticed myself doing a lot of times, especially when I was in the customer service role. I scratched my head a lot. And I noticed I did it, so I wrote it down not to scratch my head. I think what I have to do is just learn how to push through any sort of stress I make myself feel and find the peace after, on the other side of the mountain, on the other side of the hill. Not a mountain, on the other side of the mountain. Just like how it comes up, it will come down. You may peak in stress, but eventually when you push through that thing, it will go down. And I've got to practice how to do that in a healthy way, and understanding the signs that I'm on the right path and knowing what to do and knowing how to push through it and allowing myself to push through it being the stress I may experience through doing things that I want to do. I think that's why I've been using YouTube to escape reality, because I'd not only been doing it for years before today, but I'd also have things to do, pass my practical driving test, pass the PT exams as a part of, or pass my practical driving test as a part of me becoming the safest and smoothest driver I could be. Me passing the level 2 gym instructor exams as a part of me having personal training sessions off camera, and also the weightlifting and the calisthenics programs online. I just got to push through it. But I think I found my answer. Just learn how to push through the stress instead of focusing on reducing YouTube usage, focus on pushing through the stress that I may experience when taking action on things I want to do, and also make further plans and achieve the plans that I set for myself on a daily basis. Make the things that I want to do habits, and then just get on with it. I mean, I've got the things that I want to make habits. Gratitude, reading, transform your body, transform your life, learning what a PT has to know, improving the value of my assets, services and products, becoming the safest and smoothest driver I can be. That's what I've got there. Meditation would also be another one. Being able to just exist and live in the present moment rather than always wanting stuff. But anyway, I think I'm done for now. Hope you enjoyed, learned something valuable maybe, and I'll see you in the next one. There's an underlying message here for everyone. Know what works, understand what works for you, what you want to solve, and what you think you have to do in order to solve it, and then solve it. Whatever it is, or whatever they are to you, do what you need to do. If you really are serious about changing your life for the better, you eventually are going to have to stop doing those unhealthy habits that you were once doing eventually. But anyway, I'm gone for now. I'll see you lot later. Peace. I think I'm really doing right by myself. Pardon me. I really think I'm doing right by myself through making these videos and that. But I've just got to keep on taking action, really. But yeah. Let's see where we are 3 months from now, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Oh, so the amount of things that I would have done, it just build up and build up and build up. Sooner or later, I'll be flying planes and helicopters. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Eventually I'll be skydiving and just having fun. Traveling the world, seeing different things. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I really like adventure. Even though it came from an unhealthy place, I'd love to go out of the country by myself and be able to know how to assess danger, how to go from one country to another safely. Yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Oh. Okay, alright, I've got to go. I'll see you later. This gym instructor material made me have the same smiles, so I think it's time to get to it.